See these beloved child stars of the 70s in 2022. Let's take a step back to the dazzling 70s, where hair was long and wild, carpets were shaggy, and groovy slang filled the air. Before DVR and Netflix changed how we watch TV forever, it used to be more of an engaging family event, as everyone tuned in for their favorite show. Whether you loved The Brady Bunch, Happy Days, or any other iconic series that aired during this era, chances are you've seen all the episodes dozens of times. But what happened to those famous child stars from these shows? Let's take a look at then and now photographs of some beloved cast members from our favorite 70s sitcoms. Can you recognize them now? Robbie Rist then. In an effort to counteract the growing competition from shows like Sanford & Sons, producers of The Brady Bunch welcomed Robbie Rist as Cousin Oliver in the last 6 episodes. Sadly, this plan failed, and the show was eventually canceled anyway. On a bittersweet note, Robbie uttered the series' final words, "Me, Cousin Oliver. Gosh, it was only a suggestion." Even though he played 8-year-old Oliver on screen, at 9 years old, Robbie had already made quite an impact for his young age. Robbie Rist now. With years of voice acting experience in popular films like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and countless animated shows, it comes as no surprise that Robbie Rist is now making waves in movie soundtracks. His most recent endeavors include working on Sharknado's theme song with its director under the name Quint. And he even performs as a lead singer, guitarist, bassist, and/or drummer for multiple LA-based rock bands. Goes without saying that Robbie Rist is an entertainment powerhouse worthy of recognition. Mason Reese, then. In the 70s, Mason was blessed with extraordinary capabilities and a captivating appearance which propelled him to immediate fame as a child actor. His remarkable presence made it easy for him to secure roles in more than 70 television commercials alone. Mason could be seen on shows like Howard Cosell and Mike Douglas, or just about any other popular talk show of the period. Consequently, he attained celebrity status that transformed into major pop icon stardom. Mason Reese now. After his retirement from TV, Reese ventured into the restaurant business and has since opened several eateries in Manhattan, such as Palillo and Destination Bar and Grill. Recently, he fundraised money to produce a pilot series titled Life Interrupted that featured iconic television characters like Dawn Wells, Marianne on Gilligan's Island, Erin Murphy's Tabitha of Bewitched, Allison Arngrim's Nellie Olson from Little House on the Prairie, Michael Learned's Olivia Walton from The Waltons, and Robbie Rist playing Cousin Oliver in The Brady Bunch. Helen Hunt then. Helen began her career in acting at the tender age of 8, and it appears she's been captivating audiences ever since. From 1974 to 1978, she gave notable performances on television shows such as Amy Prentice and Swiss Family Robinson, where she portrayed the beloved character from a shipwrecked family trying to survive on an isolated volcanic isle, and the Fitzpatricks, respectively. Not forgetting her acclaimed role in 1977's Roller Coaster. With 21 episodes aired for Swiss Family Robinson alone, Helen certainly left fans wanting more. Helen Hunt now. Helen is still a strong presence in television and movies, most notably her Oscar-winning performance in As Good as It Gets and the 2014 hit comedy Ride. Not to mention her starring role on the hit TV show Mad About You. Astonishingly, Helen herself experienced one of America's darkest days when she witnessed 9/11 from the roof of her New York apartment building. To ensure everyone's safety, she swiftly arranged for an evacuation 3 days later, taking them out of New York City to Connecticut for refuge. The Jacksons, then. The Jackson Five, comprised of Jackie, Jermaine, Marlon, Michael, and Tito, achieved groundbreaking success in 1970 with their first 4 singles, I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There, all reaching the top spot on the Billboard chart. This is an unparalleled feat that is yet to be matched. The songs were released over a 9-month period, with I'll Be There nestling at number 1 for 5 consecutive weeks, granting immense fame to these young stars from an early age. The Jacksons now. After 17 years apart, the Jackson brothers reunited in 2011 to honor their late brother Michael and perform on a unity tour. Randy was the first one to step away from music, but Jermaine, Tito, Jackie, and Marlon are still actively touring around the world today. Although they've been performing together for almost 10 years now, there's yet to be any new music released since 1989's 23,000 Jackson Street album produced under the Jacksons' name. Janet, then. The Jackson family's youngest member is Janet, who sometimes performed alongside her elder brothers on TV shows. However, instead of pursuing a singing career like them, she had more interest in acting. One pivotal role she portrayed was Penny Evans from the show Good Times, where she interpreted an anxious and mistreated kid as one of their neighbors. She also secured appearances in successful series such as Fame and Different Strokes, yet still found time to launch her own musical endeavor. Janet now. Janet Jackson, the beloved second sibling in the famous family of recording artists, Michael and Janet, is still celebrated today with millions of records sold, multi-platinum album awards, hit movies starring roles, as well as full houses at her live performances. She recently married billionaire Wissam Almana, which caused her to cancel a tour due to wanting to start a family. The recent album Unbreakable, released in 2016, won rave reviews. Mindy Cohn, then. Mindy Cohn is renowned for her remarkable portrayal of the spirited Natalie on Facts of Life, a hit television series that kept viewers entertained from 1979 to 1988. Her endearing yet witty dialogue made an essential contribution in the show's success, and although it unfortunately became her curse as she found it difficult to land more significant roles afterward, Mindy will always be remembered fondly by fans who loved her character. Mindy Cohn now. While still carving out an acting career, Cohn acquired a degree in cultural anthropology and eventually co-founded the We Spark Cancer Support Center. Although she occasionally makes TV appearances, her true talent lies with voiceover work, which earned her an Emmy nomination for portraying Velma from the beloved Scooby-Doo animated series over several years. In addition to this success, Cohn has become one of today's most prominent advocates for the LGBTQ community. Erin Murphy, then. As one of the most renowned young actresses in the world, Erin Margaret Murphy rose to fame for her iconic performance as Tabitha Stevens on the beloved sitcom Bewitched, which ran from 1964 until 1972. On its debut season, she shared center stage with her fraternal twin, Diane. Yet, as they continued to age and resemble each other less and less, Erin took over sole possession of this role. She captivated audiences across the globe with her mesmerizing portrayal that earned her a lasting legacy among TV stars. Erin Murphy now. Murphy encountered a number of auditions after Bewitched concluded, electing to turn down commercials and modeling proposals. To offer her the possibility of leading a more typical life, her family moved to Orange County when she reached 6th grade. At age 21 years old, Murphy married and had her first child whilst residing in Arizona. Her enduring passion for drama eventually led her to instructing acting classes, which also provided production and makeup services during film shoots locally. She even served as stunt double for Virginia Madsen and Melissa Leo. 10 years ago, she returned to LA and started working in TV shows, commercials, and as a celebrity judge. She's now been blessed with 6 sons, ranging from 13 to 31 years, over the span of 3 marriages. On top of all that, she also runs 2 businesses, one offering frozen vodka martini ice pops. Kim Richards, then. Throughout the 1970s, Kim Richards was a beloved child star in Hollywood, gracing the screen with her presence on shows like Nanny and the Professor and James at 16. She headlined iconic films such as Escape to Witch Mountain and its sequel Return from Witch Mountain. But that's not all. This multifaceted actress also appeared in an array of comedies, dramas, horror movies, you name it. Her omnipresence during this era made her one of the most popular stars. Kim Richards now. In 2010, Kim re-emerged into the spotlight by joining her sister Kyle on the hit reality show The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Unfortunately, rumors about a possible substance abuse issue surfaced not long afterwards due to her unstable actions displayed on camera. Despite brief stints in rehab and promises of sobriety, Kim landed herself into trouble at the Beverly Hills Hotel in 2015 when she was arrested for trespassing, public intoxication, resisting an officer, and battery on a police officer. Subsequently released from her role as a series star permanently, Kim returns occasionally to make guest appearances. Kyle Richards, then. The iconic 70s child actress Kyle Richards, older sister to Kim, graced us with her presence on the beloved show Little House on the Prairie. Her fame was furthered by appearances in The Car, Eaten Alive, and Halloween. Despite marrying at 18 years old, only 2 years later her marriage sadly dissolved. Kyle Richards now. As the last remaining original cast member of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle has been a part of the show since 2010. In addition, she made an appearance on the new Celebrity Apprentice and released her memoir, Life is Not a Reality Show, Keeping It Real with the Housewife Who Does It All in 2011. On top of all this greatness, she and husband Mauricio Umensky contribute to Children's Hospital Los Angeles as major donors. They have 3 lovely daughters together. Johnny Whitaker, then. From Family Affair to General Hospital, John starred in a plethora of television series. Moreover, he created history by being the first person ever to give Jodie Foster an on-screen kiss in Tom Sawyer. He'd also been a reliable cast member of Saturday morning favorite show, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Unfortunately, following his friend Anissa Jones' demise, who was his co-star for Family Affair, Johnny went through immense suffering and decided to take a long sabbatical from acting. Johnny Whitaker now. With the support of his family, Johnny underwent an intervention to address his extended period of substance abuse. After entering a 12-step program, he achieved 12 years sobriety and has continued acting intermittently since then. However, he's never reached the same level of success as during his childhood days. Interestingly enough, though, Johnny speaks several languages fluently, such as Spanish, Portuguese, French, and American Sign Language. A testament to not only his amazing talent, but also strength in rising above difficult situations. Mike Lookinland, then. Mike Lookinland brought vibrant and endearing energy to his portrayal of Bobby Brady on The Brady Bunch. His acting capabilities allowed him to showcase a wide range of emotions in some episodes, thus adding more layers to the character. Fun fact, Mike's real hair color is sandy brown with curls. To look consistent with the other male characters on set, he had no choice but to dye it and straighten out those locks, sometimes leading to disastrous results when temperatures got too high. Mike Lookinland now. Mike had roles in many popular shows such as Little House on the Prairie, several Brady Bunch specials, and movies like The Towering Inferno. But after pursuing fame for some time, he decided to leave the entertainment industry altogether. His current life seems to be a testament of how everyone is capable of being their own masters. It's not necessary to remain trapped in a child star role. Mike now lives happily with his spouse and 2 children in Utah, where he runs his decorative concrete business, all while cheering for Grateful Dead concerts every chance he gets. Robbie Benson, then. Robbie is widely renowned for his motion picture career, yet he also had a successful stint as a television actor in shows such as Search for Tomorrow. His celebrated films include Jory, Jeremy, and the remarkable Ode to Billy Joe. To ace his role of Nick, their lead character in Ice Castles, one of Robbie's most prominent roles, he learned how to skate. He even tried out for the part of Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, but ultimately was beaten by Mark Hamill. Robbie Benson now. Currently, Benson is widely recognized as the voice of the Beast in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. He's been joyfully married since 1982, during which time he taught at 4 universities in New York, Utah, South Carolina, and Indiana. What many don't know, however, is that Robbie had a slew of cardiac issues, unbeknownst to producers and directors. So much so that he underwent no less than 4 heart surgeries. Fortunately for Robbie, and us, his courageousness paid off when it granted him ample acting opportunities. Ron Howard, then. Ron Howard has had an illustrious acting career since he was a child in the 1960s. He's best known for his role as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days, where he dazzled viewers with his mild-mannered character growing up with friends in Milwaukee. This popular show ran for years before one of its stars made an ill-fated attempt at jumping over a shark on a jet ski, ultimately leading to its end. Ron Howard now. Ron Howard's success in television and film is unparalleled. He has appeared in more than 27 films, directed 28 motion picture films, and produced over 20 additional projects, an extraordinary feat that serves as a shining example of what someone can accomplish with the right opportunities. Indeed, if there's anything to be gleaned from his profoundly successful career, it's that hard work pays off. Ron Palillo, then. Arnold Horshack, endearingly played by Ron Palillo, is an iconic figure in the classic sitcom Welcome Back, Kotter. He was a member of the Sweat Hogs and acted as their class clown, not to mention his signature hyena laugh. Despite this humorous role defining him for years to come, did that pigeonhole Palillo? Ron Palillo now. Throughout his adult life, Ron Palillo was much sought after for the portrayal of various characters in television shows and films, such as Laverne and Shirley in the Army and Friday the 13th. He also had a knack for directing Broadway plays and musicals, fashion designing, plus authoring children's books. Sadly, he passed away from a heart attack on August 14, 2012 at home. Scott Baio then. As a teen, Scott Baio found fame as Chachi from the beloved show Happy Days. But before that breakout role, he had already landed the lead in Bugsy Malone, an innovative musical gangster flick about iconic Prohibition-era criminals like Al Capone and Bugs Moran. What made this movie so special was that it featured only child actors, including Jodie Foster, who would go on to win an Academy Award. Fun fact, more than 2,000 children auditioned for parts, with Baio eventually securing his part through sheer talent. Scott Baio now. Following a successful run on the hit show Happy Days, Scott Baio moved to Joni Loves Chachi, and later starred in films such as Skate Town USA, Foxes, Zapped. Furthermore, he's made appearances on his own reality television show and is currently producing various series for Nick at Night. As an open Republican supporter of the GOP presidential nominee from 2016 onwards, Scott was involved in a minor altercation with one barista who refused to say the name of their candidate. Susan Dey then. Before starring as Lori Partridge on the culture-defining show The Partridge Family, Susan Dey was merely a fashion model with no prior acting experience. Interestingly, it's not an uncommon occurrence for models who lack any real background in performing to be cast in demanding roles such as hers. Shirley Jones and David Cassidy were also part of her remarkable ensemble. Despite only having 17 years under her belt at the time, Dey absolutely smashed it by taking on this incredible role. Susan Dey now. Susan went on to act in feature films including Skyjacked, Little Women, and Disappearance, as well as television series like the immensely successful LA Law. She opts out of any Partridge Family reunions, though. Susan had a brief romantic entanglement with co-star David Cassidy after their show's conclusion, but it didn't last long. They haven't spoken since then. It begs us to ask, what exactly happened that caused these two-star separation? Karen Carpenter, then. Karen Ann Carpenter made history as an acclaimed American drummer and singer. She had a natural talent for her instrument, drawing praise from drummers worldwide. But it was with her contralto vocal range that she gained incredible fame in the 1970s. Alongside Richard, her brother, they performed as a duo and released their album Close to You in 1970, which included two massive hit singles, They Long to Be, Close to You, and We've Only Just Begun. These songs both reached #1 on the Hot 100 chart, catapulting Karen Ann's career into superstardom. Karen Carpenter passed away in 1983. Tragically, Karen Carpenter passed away at the tender age of 32 in 1983. On that fateful day, she collapsed whilst visiting her parents' house and was rushed to Downey Community Hospital, a mere 25 minutes from their home. Her untimely death had been caused by a cardiac arrest due to an eating disorder resulting from compulsive dieting. Shockingly close to the end of her life, the Carpenters had canceled performances for Queen Elizabeth and concerts throughout Europe and Asia, as they could not continue without Karen's presence on stage. Despite the setback, almost until her final days, she remained dedicated to performing with excellence up until fate took its course. Barry Williams then. At the tender age of 14, Barry Williams earned his breakthrough role as Greg Brady on The Brady Bunch, and overnight became a teen heartthrob adored by millions of female fans throughout the U.S. His stardom was only amplified when he recorded 4 albums with his co-stars, proving that anyone can propel their career if they put their mind to it. Barry Williams now. In 1989, Williams was rewarded with the Young Artist Foundation Former Child Star Lifetime Achievement Award. Subsequently, in 1992, he published his autobiography, Growing Up Brady, I Was a Teenage Greg, and it remained one of the best-selling books for 3 consecutive months. His book was later adapted into a television movie by NBC, and he himself served as an executive producer for that film in 2001. Throughout the years, he's made appearances on some of the most popular television shows, such as The Brady Bunch, That 70s Show, and Three's Company. He also dedicated much time to musical theater, with acclaimed roles in works like Grease, West Side Story, and one that needs no introduction, The Sound of Music. Maureen McCormick, then. Of course, we mustn't overlook one of these show's female stars. Maureen McCormick will always be remembered for her iconic role as Marcia Brady from 1969 to 1974. She portrayed the oldest and prettiest sister, who was quite smart and confident in all she did. Politics held a special interest for her, but at only 12 years old when cast in the renowned part, she had plenty to worry about like any young girl, all while gracefully gracing our television screens with charm and poise. Maureen McCormick now. Maureen McCormick and Michael Cummings tied the knot in 1985, with their daughter Natalie following 4 years later. After her television series finished, she faced a difficult battle with drug addiction, which ultimately ended triumphantly. In 2007, Maureen was a celebrated contestant on VH1's Celebrity Fit Club, where she emerged victorious. Fast forwarding to 2016, Maureen also took part in ABC's Dancing with the Stars, although removed from competition during week 7 at 8th place overall, an outstanding feat. Danny Bonaduce, then. In the 1970s, Danny Bonaduce skyrocketed to stardom for his role as middle child Danny Partridge on the smash hit show The Partridge Family. With his signature red mane and sharp wit, he captured hearts across America playing bass guitar in the family band. Not only was he a fan favorite on-screen, but off-screen too, with co-star David Cassidy becoming an incredibly close friend of Danny's since their first joint performance. Danny Bonaduce now. After the acclaimed television series concluded, Danny Bonaduce quickly adapted and took on numerous roles, from radio and television personality to comedian and professional wrestler. His small screen portfolio extended even further, as he's shown in several other programs, such as VH1's Breaking Bonaduce in 2005. Moreover, he was a frequent presenter for both Los Angeles and Philadelphia's radio shows before becoming KZOK-FM Seattle's permanent morning talk show host back in 2011. Tatum O'Neal, then. An unbelievable statistic. Tatum O'Neal claimed an Academy Award in 1974 at the tender age of 10 for her performance as Addie Loggins in Paper Moon. In addition, she was featured on The Bad News Bears and Nickelodeon, both released in 1976. Such acclaim from such a young age is still rare to see today within Hollywood culture. But how would this feat influence her later on? Tatum O'Neal now. In 1986, O'Neal married professional tennis star John McEnroe and had 3 children with him. Unfortunately, their marriage dissolved in 1992, after which they officially divorced 2 years later. Following her successful string of movies during the 1970s, she only took up 5 roles over the next 15 years before returning to acting at the beginning of this century through guest appearances on 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter, Law & Order: Criminal Intent, and Sex and the City. In 2005, she began a recurring role on acclaimed show Rescue Me, followed by other television projects ever since then.